Hey everyone, what's up? Yes, it looks like we're back to this, the old method. The method that keeps failing, but it's the one I keep coming back to. Using both the recording app and the phone's camera to record these episodes. And well, I suppose I could hope things will be all right. This episode, I hope. I've already noticed the gameplay is certainly been lagging and very choppy ever since I started recording, but whatever. Doesn't really matter to me anymore, as long as I can still actually record, and hopefully there won't be any weird audio glitches and spasms this episode. I suppose I owe you all a bit of an explanation as to why I am using this method to record this episode. And don't worry, I'm not gonna just revert back to having all my episodes being recorded this way. Instead, this is just a temporary solution, and if I have my way around it, hold on, a one-time solution, one-off solution. So, in the previous episode, I talked a lot about how the camera kept making problems for me, and it wasn't a new thing. It's been that way pretty much ever since I got this quote-unquote new camera, because if you remember, my old camera just died on me, and I couldn't use it anymore. So I was at one point considering just stopping these episodes completely, shelving this show, but it turns out I just loved doing this show too much to give up on it. I tried getting a new camera. It was a little on the pricey side, so I canceled it because I got a sort of new camera. Now the first camera that I made, big major camera that I used for this show, was a camera that my mom gave me because she got it as a present from her work, and she had no use for it, so she gave it to me. And it was a relatively good camera. It served me well for about a year or so. But then the connections kind of broke, and I couldn't charge it anymore. Hence, it became completely unusable. The second camera that I got was pretty much the same. It was also given to me because my mom gave it to me because she got it as a holiday gift from work. But the main problem was it looked like the same camera, and for the most part functioned like the exact same camera, but it was just loaded with bugs, primarily which really prevented a smooth way of making these episodes. Particularly, it never turned itself off if you don't use it. The first camera that I got, if you don't use the actual camera for 5 minutes, it just turns itself off to save up energy. This camera did not do that, and there was no function to do that. Believe me, I checked. So I always ran into these situations where I fully charged the camera all through the night, expecting to use it the next day. So I just unplugged it before going to sleep, because I didn't want the camera to be fully charged and also plugged in all night. And I woke up the next morning realizing that the camera was completely drained, not realizing how, but I've already fully charged the camera. Then it took me a while to realize that this camera just doesn't turn itself off even after you unplug it from the charger. It stays on and keeps on wasting its own battery until it runs out the following morning, which was annoying. And you know, more problems could be like the fact that sometimes when you plug in the charging cable, it turns the camera on for a second, but then it switches the camera off the next. Never really figured that out. Connecting the camera to my laptop was a nightmare because, again, bad connections. Once you connect it, you have like 3 options. One of which is charge. One of it is store data. Can't remember what the third one was, but yeah, it was the store data one that I needed to actually transfer the recordings I did on the camera to the laptop. And again, bad connections, because once you connect it to the laptop through the USB connection, it kept switching back and forth between just charging and giving you the 3 options you needed. So a lot of the times I really needed to play with the camera, adjust the angle of where exactly how I put the camera down to make sure that the screen on the camera stays on those 3 options long enough for click the OK button to allow my laptop access to the camera so that I can download the footage. Okay, that's that. Once I did actually get the camera placed in a specific angle for long enough to click the OK button to allow myself to actually download the footage, I would gently let go of the camera, and then the bad connections thing kicked up again, and the camera just got disconnected from the laptop again. So I had to play with the whole settings all over again to hopefully get the 3 options again, and this time actually make sure that it gives my laptop access to the footage for long enough so that I can actually go into one of the files, one of the folders holding the footage, so that I can transfer it from the camera onto my desktop of my laptop. And sometimes, thankfully most times, it allowed me to actually download all the footage from the camera to the laptop, which does actually take a long time because for some reason those files were very, very large, so it take a lot of time to download all the footage from the camera to the desktop. So it takes 10-15 minutes ish on the 20-30 minute long episodes. Again, this is part of the reasons why I didn't want these episodes to be as long as 30 minutes or 40 minutes at times. And sometimes, you know, the bad connections thing used to kick up again, and the camera just got disconnected while I was transferring the footage from the camera onto my laptop's desktop. So I had to do the whole thing all over again, play with the connections, click the OK button, leave the camera alone so that I can access it on my desktop. Then the camera bad connection just got kicked in again. Then I had to play with the camera all over again, 5 times at least, until I finally was able to get the camera to stay connected to the laptop and give the laptop access for long enough to download the footage onto my desktop. And what happened a lot of the times was it downloaded the first half of an episode, but then got the bad connections thing kicked up again while downloading the second half. So I had to play with the connections again, click the OK button to give the computer access. Then it lost it again, so I had to play with the connections again to click the button again and access the folder. Then the connections got lost again, and then I had to play with the connections again, and then just, you know, to download the second half so that I can finally download all the freaking footage onto my desktop so that I can actually get down to what used to be the hard part, which was just editing the episode. and just making sure that it looks good. But sometimes just messing with the camera for as long as I did with this whole bad connection stuff, it took an hour sometimes, and it just wasn't worth it anymore. And what happened last time I recorded an episode, hold on, crossing a road here. What happened last time was, at that point, even after what started the last couple of weeks, was even after I finally managed to download all the footage, or rather access the folder containing the footage, some of the footage was corrupted and became completely unusable because the camera just decided to corrupt the last 14 minutes or 10 to 14 minutes of footage that it recorded, so I had to start all over. So sorry. So I only had like half an episode where I can actually show the footage that I recorded on my camera after walking around in the hot sun or sometimes cold wind for half an hour. So yeah, clearly you can guess why I was kind of thinking of just not doing any more of these episodes, and I wasn't doing as many episodes per week that I used to do at the start of the lockdown because of the stupid camera. But having said that, after weeks of, okay, I only got half an episode, but at least I got one good half. So I felt like I could live with that. But what happened in the most recent episode, it's just the bad connections thing it just kept on happening. And like I said, the charging cable connecting the camera to the laptop, for some reason it just switched the camera off completely. And I had to restart the camera again to play with the bad connections, only to have the cable itself switch the camera off again, so I can turn it off again. I can turn it on again to play with the bad connections. Finally get it to the right position and the right angle to to click the OK button to give my laptop access to the folder before the cable itself switched the camera off again. And I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I just want you to get some semblance of an idea of the struggle I used to have day in and day out with the camera. So after messing with the camera for what felt like an hour after a night shift where I barely got any sleep and had a job interview on the same day, and I had a lot of stuff to do later that night, and I was depriving myself of sleep that I was already well deprived of. Just messing with the stupid camera because I wanted to at least work on the video, on the episode, so it will at least be uploaded to YouTube while I was sleeping, so I could save time. Figured I'd just leave it alone and go to sleep and come back to it right after that, and which I did. But after messing with the camera for, again, another 15 to 20 minutes of just not even being able to access the folder, just trying to get the bad connections part, or rather get the cable to connect in such a way where I can even press the OK button to allow my laptop access to the files, and then the cable switched off the camera 5 more times. Eventually I just lost it and figured that enough was enough, and it was time to move on, and it was time to get back at this camera for all the horrible stuff it put me through. So I just disconnected the camera completely from the cable. I detached the camera itself from the selfie stick that I was holding it on, and I just threw it across the floor and smashed it to 1,000 pieces and threw it in the garbage. And that was it. That was the story of the camera. And again, hopefully all this monotonous whining and bitching and complaining about the stupid camera is enough to let you know why that camera had to go and why I finally felt like I've had enough and it was time to move on. And so I've already placed an order for a new camera, which would hopefully be arriving in a week. Until then, well, I suppose I'm settled with this method again of just recording the episode just with the phone. And while it does give me a little bit of freedom for my other hand, I don't have to be holding that stupid camera straight at my face the whole time. The episodes themselves don't really look that good, but I mean, at least I can do them. I spent about 15 minutes just talking about that stupid camera because I mean, I'm sorry, but it was a major part of my life. I mean, just messing with the stupid thing just to put these episodes, which frankly, I'm going to be completely open, these episodes aren't really giving me the views. You know, I'm just doing these episodes because I love them, and because, you know, sometimes I get some interactions with people, and sometimes, you know, it helps the channel, but these episodes aren't really breaking the box office, as they say. So it was a risk versus reward thing that I finally decided to smash the camera up. And I'm sorry to my mom for giving me the camera, but I just couldn't handle it anymore. But that being said, this is still a Pokemon Go show, so I suppose we let's talk a little bit about Pokemon Go for a little bit. This episode has already gone on practically long enough that it could be considered a standalone episode in and of itself. But yeah, and this is one of the main reasons why I don't like recording on this phone. Yeah, the phone itself gets really laggy, and so it can't really recognize my fingerprint anymore. The touchscreen doesn't work as well, while both the recording app and the phone's camera are activated, which is why I normally refrain from recording an episode this way. But not to worry, I don't really anticipate anything too big happening in the next week or so, so I don't think I will be recording another episode like this until after I get my new camera and hopefully figure out how to work it properly. Now, as far as those missions right here, I cleared them all out because there was a time limit, and with me not having a camera, I wasn't really sure when I would be able to record again. So I cleared out all of them before the time limit ran out, and thankfully, don't worry, you didn't really miss much. There were only like a few missions left, nothing too exciting. And there really weren't that many good reward Pokemon for clearing those missions. So like I said, you didn't miss much. I think there was maybe to be like a Wobbuffet wearing a party hat, and that's about it. I think maybe I can even show it to you guys. Hold on. I mean, it was a while ago, but I think maybe you could see it. There we go, here we are. Party hat wearing Wobbuffet. Party Fet. Now let's see if there are any more of these experience missions. Yeah. 12,500 XP. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I can just evolve all the Pokemon I have right now. But I could also finish the much larger XP mission right here. Except I'm not going to, because I think this episode has already gone on long enough. So yeah, maybe I'll finish it next episode, or maybe just, I'll finish it off camera and just show you how I get the rewards for finishing these missions, because like I said, this episode has already gone on long enough. The phone really doesn't like it when I use the recording app and the phone camera at the same time for longer than 10 minutes. So I guess you can just count this episode as just me explaining why I am no longer using the camera that I had up until this point, and just giving you all an update on the future of this show, which isn't really that much of an update. It's just I'm not going to be recording any episodes for a few days now until I get a new camera, which hopefully things will be much better with that camera. So that's really all I have to say for now. And well, thank you for listening to me vent and complain about how bad things are with my life right now. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's really a bad start for 2022. But then again, I smashed up the camera because it's a new year and I want a fresh start for this show. And it starts with getting a better camera, one that preferably actually works this time around. So that is it, and hopefully by next time, hopefully by the time I get to recording the next episode, I will have enough rare candy to fully power up my Dialga and finally have a 4000 CP legendary Pokemon on my side. But that's it for now. So again, sorry for the way this episode ended up being, but I just felt like I needed to vent and talk to someone about this. So thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.
Hello again, everybody! I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time.